On this episode of the Third Wheel Podcast, we answer many questions like, where on earth is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire? We also take a deep dive in fan predictions of where exactly is Marvel going? Disney, what are you thinking? All this and more today on the Third Wheel Podcast.
Welcome to the Third Wheel Podcast. I'm Caleb.
I'm Shaps.
And today we are going to give you some updates. All right?
Yeah.
First update, okay, for all of you guys on the edge of your seat. Harry Potter, as of the time of this recording, right this second, Shaps has just finished reading Harry Potter Book 4.
And when he says that, I mean literally like 10 minutes ago. I just finished it.
We got here, we agreed to meet at 10:30, and he wouldn't get out of his car. And I was just standing there waiting, and then he just texted me, I got 4 minutes left in the book.
I couldn't put it down.
And he came out, and he said, dude, that was amazing. And I was like, oh my God.
I legitimately, like, no irony here. That is my favorite book so far of the Harry Potter series, and I believe that J.K. Rowling, either a different writer stepped in or she stepped up her game immensely. I thought she was already okay, but like this one really, like showed how much she's improved. Caleb didn't finish it yet, but he's finished it before. But he has little faith, apparently, little faith.
So our next recording session should be a review of Harry Potter Book 4. That should be the next thing we shoot.
Yep.
And good to go. I still have a few chapters left, but I read so much this past week. I'll be done in no time.
Don't slog through it though. You gotta let everything hit you. Where it needs to hit you.
Well, I found a very good balance on how much coffee to drink and how much focus I can have to where it's just like, I'll be fine. So. Very next recording session will be Harry Potter.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to coordinate with Sydney on when she can come, and then if she's really struggling with her schedule, we'll just shoot it. Just me and Shaps, classic. Me and Shaps Harry Potter episode.
Classic.
So we'll take care of that.
Let me tell you though, the next book, my gosh, it's like somehow it's longer.
I know. And as everyone knows, anyone who listens, Book 5 is the one I cannot stand.
But the rest of them are like normal length, which is really weird.
Book 7's still pretty big.
Okay. Again, I look at the time frame of like Audible gives you like a time of like when to complete, or when it should complete. I think this book was like 23 hours.
Yeah.
Order of the Phoenix is 27. And this book was really long.
Yeah, it was huge.
The Deathly Hallows, I just glanced at it, and it's like 22 hours.
Yeah.
So it's like normal length, especially for a finale book. I expected it to be super long, but no, the next one's just like long for like no reason. I haven't read it, but like I can't imagine somehow being justified.
Right.
There was already a lot of filler in this book, so
yeah. Okay, filler. Well, hold on. Let's save it. Let's just unpack the book now.
Pry it open.
Earlier reactions to a book that came out 20 years ago.
Well, no, I'm honestly thinking, probably not, but I was like, what if we just like split up the next book review in like 2 episodes maybe?
Yeah. So I'm thinking when Sydney gets here, if we're doing a 2-episode shoot like we normally do, we'll just shoot both, parts back to back.
At least for the next 2 books, or this book that I just finished, and then the next one, just because like they're so long and there's so much to unpack.
It's a toss-up which one's my favorite, because book 6 is really like it's smaller, but I don't know, like I love that one.
Yeah.
And as we've gone through this, I've actually enjoyed the series a little bit more, just a bit more. So.
It's going to be hard to top this one. Stick with it, Caleb, because.
You can't make me.
I read it, and you know what? I was like, oh man, Caleb's not going to like this. I'm like, I'm not liking it. And then, oh my gosh, it all just popped. It all just made sense.
So there are a couple issues in book 4 that I know for sure I still won't be happy with.
I really want to hear it, but we'll wait.
But I'm nowhere near that yet.
Sure.
We're talking like the back half, and I just got done with the first half, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'll read those chapters like nothing. Like I said, this past week I just destroyed it. So
nice.
I just I just ate that book. I just took a big bite out of it.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, let's move on then. What is our first topic?
Shall I move on?
Yeah.
We have not hit 100 subscribers yet. I'm very disappointed.
It's unfortunate. We were on a roll for a while.
Yeah, because like the past 2 weeks before this week, we were just killing it.
It was like 3 to 4 a day.
Yes, we were just on fire, and I was like, okay, bro, by the end of tomorrow, we're gonna hit like 100, and then we just nothing.
Of course, okay. I mean, I don't really care about numbers, but it's kind of cool, with your first 100, seeing it like, slowly build up over time, and you're kind of looking at it every day, like, oh, is today the day? Is today the day?
Well, it's even worse for me because I'm sitting there refreshing it as I,
okay,
because
what?
Sometimes the numbers will be like, there'll be 34 views, and then you'll refresh one time, and it's like 134 views. You're like, oh, and the numbers just go up.
Okay, so you're just looking for your dopamine effect. You like dopamine kicks. Okay, gotcha.
Very much so. And it is a bit addicting.
Yeah.
So maybe it's good that I'm chilling out on how little we're getting this week.
Yeah, be humbled.
yeah. Get wrecked, noobs. Thus saith the Lord.
I just know we're gonna have the exact same reaction if we ever get to like 1,000. It's gonna be 999. Yeah. We're like, oh my gosh, please, some one person.
It was just weird because like we went from 75 to 96 like real fast.
Oh yeah.
Like I was thinking like, okay, cool. It's gonna be a few weeks before we get to 80. But
no, we definitely hit the algorithm with something.
Yeah, something. So I mean that freaking chip video where I clapped that just really killed. We got 6 subs off that one video.
That's crazy.
And then we got nothing the rest of the week. And I was like, what? That's where we like just declined. I was like, that's peak third wheel podcast.
The clap,
the chips,
the Pringle clap.
Yeah, we got chips. Yeah, I don't know. But, we'll come back. We're going to hit 100 in no time.
Sure.
2 hours later.
Yes.
I was going to say like 2 years, but I don't know why hours came out.
That's depressing.
Yeah. So, Shaps, have you seen what's been going on in the Marvel Universe?
Can't say that I care.
Really? So you don't care anymore? Or did you ever care?
I don't know if I ever cared. I mean, I watched the movies just fine, but even then, when Endgame came out, I had to go rewatch all the movies I didn't watch, and I was like, I don't want to do this. So I'm not super big into it. And the shows I've only seen maybe 1 or 2. I saw Loki. I liked Loki a lot, but that was about it. Wanda was okay. I thought that was going to be really, really good. It was only okay.
Right.
And I didn't really watch any of the other ones. I think I watched 2 episodes of Falcon, and then that's it.
Dude, for some reason, I am a Marvel fanboy, and I understand why people hate people like me. I get it, because I watched She-Hulk, and I liked it.
You watched?
I didn't just watch it. I liked it.
Oh God!
Well, up until the last episode, the very last episode really dropped the ball.
Yeah, when they freaking pull a Rick and Morty, that was great.
No, that part was fine. My problem, and I say fine in the fact that it was that's a very She-Hulk thing to do.
Is it?
And I know everyone says this, and they actually don't have anything to support it. Right? Everyone freaking says this. They always say, it was in the comics, and they've never picked up a comic in their life.
Sure, yeah.
Right? But I have read a couple, not too many, but I've read a couple She-Hulk comics. There was when I was reading the Civil War storyline, Captain America versus Iron Man. I read that in preparation for the movie, and some She-Hulk comics tie into it, and I read some of it, and I mean, she breaks the fourth wall. I mean, in that series, she didn't hop out and go talk to her own writers, but she,
is she kind of like a Joe character?
Yeah, so she's like a very not as cool version of Deadpool, but just not as cool, absolutely less popular. I get the angle they were going with it. I don't understand the hate for She-Hulk. The absolute total hatred. I don't get it. Because they put mutants in it. No, they didn't put Wolverine in it, right? They referenced him, but they didn't put him in it. It was lesser known, Mr. Immortal, just a and that episode was funny because he was he's at the law firm that She-Hulk works at, and he's trying to get a divorce from all his wives. And what he does is he keeps faking his own death to get away from him, And then so they're all arguing. All the women are yelling at him, the female attorneys and his ex-wives are all yelling at him. So he's he just jumps out the window and kills himself, but then he gets up because he can't die, and then he just starts walking. So I don't know, it was funny. And then Abomination, he's in prison, but he's trying to get parole. So he hires She-Hulk as his attorney to get out on parole, from the Incredible Hulk movie. Yeah. I thought it was funny, but
do you know? I mean, do you know what the clip that was most infamous for that show?
Is it the clip where the dude bro takes her blood and turns into dude bro Hulk?
No, the clip that went viral and infamous.
Oh wait, let me one more guess. I think I know what it is.
Okay.
the clip where she says that women deal with anger differently than men.
Yeah,
and that's why she's He-Hulk.
Yeah, basically that one.
I figured.
I think that's where the hatred came
from. That's legit. The one line just for some reason pissed off everybody.
Yeah.
And again, I haven't read enough She-Hulk comics to know why she reacts differently to the Hulk stuff. I don't.
Yeah.
That's probably not it.
It was the fact that, I mean, like, obviously you have, like, your freaking toxic males getting mad at that, but also the fact that she said it to freaking like the actual like the Hulk, Bruce Banner.
Yeah,
that just seemed like, I think the people took it too seriously.
Yeah,
and they didn't realize the show wasn't supposed to be taken that seriously.
Right.
But yeah, they took it super seriously because that's the Hulk. That's the
right.
That's the guy. That's the emotional drive, in these Avenger films. So I think people just felt very assaulted, or not assaulted, insulted.
They felt
assaulted. She was assaulting me. Yeah. No, they felt very insulted for him, which is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like, I was like, kind of like, well, can you believe this crap? At first, but like, legitimately, yeah. As I heard more about it, it just doesn't sound like it was supposed to be a serious show at all.
No, that's the thing. Like, I didn't watch it expecting it to usher in the next Avengers movie. Sure. I don't know. Like, it was just supposed to be her story, and I thought it did that.
Now, I still think that was a very stupid scene.
Oh, for sure.
Regardless of if it was supposed to be taken seriously or not, that was a really stupid scene, and people are going to get pissed off over that. So.
Well, I started watching Critical Drinker because I watched some of his stories. He does a series called Production Hell.
Yeah,
and I love it because that's actually what I really love to talk about. But he's talking about how the Marvel movies are pandering to demographics, and it's not like a well written demographic that they're trying to write a love letter to. It's like it's legit pandering. So that scene was just straight up just to annoy people.
Like, I feel like it went viral by design.
Yeah,
they knew, but like, you got to know if you're triggering people intentionally. Say that's what they actually were doing.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to be remembered for? You
no,
know,
and that's all it's going to be remembered for, because people quit watching after that, or they watch to hate it.
Exactly. I mean, it's the same thing when, like, I remember when, like, the female Ghostbusters movie came out, 2016
Yep.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Essentially, all the actresses were like taken to Twitter, and like production people were taking to Twitter, and they were like fighting fans, like legitimately like arguing with fans, and fans were being toxic, obviously, but like they were firing back. And when you go against the fans, I've seen it happen every single time.
Yeah.
It destroys your product. Like, no one will stand, like, very few people will stand behind you if you actually attack the fans, whether they deserve it or not.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, kind of jabs like that, it's dangerous, and honestly, it sucks because if they didn't have that scene in there, a lot more people probably would have watched it. Not a whole lot, but a lot of people would have watched it, and then it wouldn't have been known as this pandering show,
Yeah, and like, I will say, like, my biggest problem with this show is like the ending, because the rest of the show is clearly building up towards something.
Yeah.
And you could tell that they changed the ending in post-production, because like they cut out, maybe not in post, because post means just like, oh shoot, let's just cut it out. Like they reshot what they were building up to and just totally changed the ending. So
Really?
Are you familiar with the Hulk villain, the Leader?
Mm-mm.
Do you know? Okay. So if you remember in the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie, there's the guy that was helping Blonsky turn into the Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
And he accidentally gets some of the weird blood, goo, whatever, spilled on his head, and his head starts bubbling.
Yeah, I remember him from the movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be the Leader, and the Leader is a gamma guy who's skinny body, but his head is gigantic. He almost looks like the guy from that Green Lantern movie. I forget the character's name. That's what he looks like.
Oh, okay.
But he's actually competent. He's really smart, and he's like a big, like, he leads like an underground group of gamma people. He was supposed to be in She-Hulk. That was the original idea, and he's supposed to be the villain unless they change everything now. But he was supposed to be the villain in Captain America 4, where the New World Order is the group that he leads, and it's a bunch of gamma stuff. So the whole show in She-Hulk, there are people trying to get her blood. And I was reading, like, the Leader was supposed to be in that show originally, so they were trying to get her blood so he could. And his thing is he keeps trying to copy Hulk's DNA so he can turn into the Hulk. So that's what they were trying to get his blood or her blood and so he could turn into the Hulk.
Yeah.
And so that's clearly what they're building up to. Like they managed to get her blood, and then you see it being passed around by scientists, and like you're like, oh shoot, like, okay, I'm thinking last episode we're about to get the Leader. Finally, we're gonna get the payoff. I'm the only one waiting on the payoff to that movie where they tease the Leader, because I watched the old cartoon. I was like, oh shoot, that's the leader. I'm excited, and then they just never did it. And I was like, okay, we're about to get the payoff to that finally. And then last episode, you tell they changed the ending where she goes to a weird group of women haters that are chanting, and this dude bro gets on stage and he's like, "What? I'm the one that stole your blood." And I was like, "You?" And then she did the same thing, "You?" And that's when she decided to hop out of the thing and talk to the writers, right? But yeah, so it was building up towards a total never mind ending. They totally changed it to have it be a weird dude bro who put it in. His upper half is huge, and now he's Hulk, right? But his legs are still kind of small. So it was so disappointing. Yeah. And so for me, an actual fan of She-Hulk, they just totally pulled the rug out from under me. So I was like, ugh. So I don't know. All those shows right now are kind of doing that. Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier. Same thing. They had a whole plot line that they cut out because it was too close to what was going on. It was supposed to be like a COVID. It was almost like a COVID plot, right? Where there's a disease about to spread and Captain's trying to stop it from spreading. It's in a vial and he's holding on to it before they release it to the world. But that was coming out during COVID, so they changed it to where it was like a weird terrorist group. So I think that also hurt the show. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're doing where they keep changing the ending and it just messes up the rest of the show. So that's kind of what happened with that one. Not to mention the CGI was really bad. The Daredevil episode was really good. Did you watch that one?
There was a Daredevil episode? No.
That was a big marketing push for She-Hulk. He was going to be in an episode.
Oh, because of the lawyer thing.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, which actually they did. His episodes were solid. The build up towards his episodes were really good. So, and then his actual episodes were fantastic. So it was what people wanted, and then the ending, which was really bad. But so there's a show coming out called Echo, and it's a spin-off character from Hawkeye. So I think one thing Marvel's doing wrong is they keep, what is it? They're spinning off characters nobody wants to watch, and they're giving them their own show.
A spin-off.
Yes.
Hawkeye already isn't anyone's favorite
adventure,
right?
But so anyone. This is a joke I stole from I Hate Everything. But he said, "Will somebody hum me the Hawkeye theme, please?" He's like, anyone? No, So yes, you're right. Nobody's favorite character, right? But he is. Let's see. He had his own spinoff, which was okay.
Yeah,
and that's another thing was all their movies are just okay. Or their spinoff shows. There's too many of them. And none of them are blowing me away. Right? They're all just fine when they're all said and done. But there's a character in there. She was a villain. She's deaf, but she was super acrobatic and she fights. And her uncle ended up being Kingpin. So she's getting her own show.
What? Before I could even ask a question,
yeah,
you've already a new show. What?
Yeah, exactly. She's not that interesting, but yeah, she's getting her own show. Well, anyway, they shot the show, and Kevin Feige hates it. He's watching. He's like, bro, he called it unwatchable. So he ordered reshoots, and they reshot it, and then he watched it again. He's like, bro, this sucks. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And he actually doesn't know what to do with the show right now because they've already spent a lot of money on it. It's done.
Yeah.
But he hates it, and he's like, this is we can't release this.
That's the unreleasable one.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
Scary.
And then we just got Ant-Man 3 this year.
Oh boy.
Yeah. On top of that, you got the guy that plays Kang. He just got in a bunch of legal trouble. Dude, he's apparently hurting allegedly. Okay, I don't want no smoke from these big hire actors here, but allegedly he beats his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So it sucks because they based the whole next 5 years on him, the actor, not the character, not just the character, but the actor. So they shot his scene in Loki where he does his the He Who Remains character, and just based on that one performance, they're like, okay, we got to make a whole he's gonna be the next Avengers villain. They did that all based on his performance.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's great idea. It just sucks that he's so good of an actor that they based the next 5 years of the MCU on him, and he just turned out to be a big criminal.
You just can't rely on anyone anymore.
Yeah, that's the problem with putting all your eggs in one basket. Because it's they can't just recast him because he plays the character so cool and so interesting to where it's well, if you just recast him, it's going to be weird. So, and they kept all the scenes in Loki so far. So, anyway.
Hey, did you see the Ahsoka show?
Yeah.
Okay, so the guy who plays not not the Sith Lord, but like the mercenary dude. What's his name? Lord
Balin Skull or something.
Balin Skull. Yeah. I didn't know he died.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know he died.
Like the actor, not the character.
Yeah, sorry. When I watched the show, I didn't know the actor was dead, and I was like very disappointed because I'm like, holy crap, he's the best part. He's one of the best parts of the show.
And I was like, please, please, please resolve his character by the end of this.
And guess what?
Hey, yeah, guess what? He's getting his own show.
Yeah,
no, kidding. But like that's clearly what they're building up to.
No, and it's like
we can do a Star Wars episode. I want to have Brie on for that show.
Sure.
But,
well, real quick, it's really sad when it's like, they really bank on these actors, but they forget, oh gosh, they're human. That's the unfortunate thing. They're human, and he died. And then now they're like, do we use AI? Do we recast him? And then the people are like, who would recast him? Well, these people are very expensive. So, and it's like very hard to capture because like this guy is very particular, like a very particular build, very particular way of speaking, very particular look, like
just like if you pay attention to how he swung his lightsaber, obviously that probably wasn't based on the actor. Yeah. Right. They probably choreographed that pretty well.
Yeah.
But the way he swung his lightsaber was like a knight.
Big, powerful. Yes.
Like,
exactly.
Just like a full on like a knight from the medieval times. Like that's how he fought with his lightsaber.
Hard to do.
Yeah. So good luck, Disney. Like you got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, they're like Sean Bean. Why? She can kill him again.
Yeah, for real. Although probably I don't know, his character is so well written. Like that'd be probably top 3 Sean Bean on screen deaths again. Yeah. Like
honestly though.
Yeah, I've never been disappointed with Sean Bean dying in something. Like it's always been very satisfying.
So well.
Yeah, that's his thing.
The expression on his head when he's rolling.
I know. but yeah. So yeah, Echo. Totally like one, unnecessary. Let's just get out like the whole given that her show is a bad idea.
Yeah.
2, like it's unwatchable apparently. So that's that's a little bit disappointing. Nobody was gonna watch it anyway.
I mean it's just like that whole entire canceled Batwoman movie, I think. Yeah, the entire movie was canceled because it'd be too bad.
Well the thing what was so messed up about Batgirl being canceled was the movie was done.
Or Batgirl. Yeah.
The movie was done. Like it was it was ready to go.
How bad could it be? Like what does it say?
Yeah.
When they say the movie is done, might as well try to get some money back. No.
Yeah. We're not even gonna bother. I'm willing to put money down that was for tax purposes. I think it has nothing to do with the quality of the movie.
Or maybe because like a bad movie wouldn't have hurt their reputation any more than it already has.
Exactly. So like you think about how Joss Whedon asked for another year for Justice League to come out because he was reshooting the whole thing, and they were like, no. And that was because they wanted to keep their bonus. I think it was very similar to that. I think they were like tax write-off.
Sure.
So I think I don't think it has anything to do with the quality or the actors or anything. I think it was a full-on political, like, you know what? Yeah. It's easier to not play the card and just hold on to it for later. So I don't know. I feel like someone's going to leak it online at some point. Someone's going to leak it on X.
It is going to be the greatest DC movie they've ever made.
Well, technically never made because it never came out. But all right, so we got so I mentioned no one's gonna watch Echo at this point. Like when it comes out, one, if it's that bad to where even like the executives that don't know anything are like this is god awful. Like even they can smell, like even their poop radars are going off. You know what I mean? So the Marvels that comes out next month. Actually, probably less than a month.
Oh my gosh!
Have you seen the box office predictions?
No, but I've seen just like the trailers to that.
I will say it does look better than the first one, Captain Marvel. I hated Captain Marvel. It was bad. I knew it was going to be bad because the girl that they got for Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, she is bad. At least in that role, she was not a good superhero. No one liked her when it came out. The movie wasn't that good. What made it successful was they sandwiched it between Endgame and Infinity War. So at the time, people were like clamoring for some kind of like what.
I think that's what pissed a lot of people off about it.
Right. Well, that and then like just the movie wasn't that good. It was so boring. She's too overpowered. She's broken. Yeah. And it wasn't interesting of a story. She had the same blank look on her face the whole movie. There was a scene where they were trying to compare different points of her life, and they're making a point like no matter what happens to her, she always gets back up. And then like every cut is just her face. And like
make sure to put like 5 more explosions behind her in green screen just to make her look a little bit more cool.
It was bad.
Also, the actress was like going off on people.
Right.
I was like, I don't know why you gotta do that.
Well, did you see that interview where someone asked her like, "So when's the next, Captain Marvel movie?" And she just goes, "I don't know. Does anyone want me to make another one?" It was funny because she knew, she was aware that everyone hated it.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone actually hated her in particular.
No, exactly.
Like you said, just her attitude in real life, and also like just her character.
Well, it's also these freaking like Disney actors who always take it upon themselves to be like spokespeople for things. When like. Nowadays, people just want to see actors act. They don't want to hear them talk really that much about anything, because you never know when you might have another scandal or another wife beater or something that people just don't care about celebrity opinion that much anymore.
Yeah.
So I think people get really pissed off when they start being spokespeople for certain things.
Yeah, and I noticed that. Also, actors that haven't earned their right to speak.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's another thing. Was like she hadn't had anything. That could have been the role where it could have been where everyone started respecting her, because you get like the Robert Downey Jr. interview. Have you seen the one where he walked out of like the Channel 8? Like at that point, people respected him.
Oh yeah.
Because he had so much, he had a good story to tell. I don't mean just like an interesting story. I mean,
which
like,
tied, interestingly enough, with the character he played. Yes, which was awesome.
Yes,
but,
so like when he walked out of that, nobody was on the news anchor side in that interview.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So at that point he earned like his spurs.
Yeah.
So you get to let's take another actor, Jim Carrey. So after the Oscar slap with Will Smith and what's his name, Chris Rock.
Yeah.
After that slap, like freaking Jim Carrey got on an interview and he was like, "Yeah, bro, like he's like we're not." He's like that was so awful. Like it just like it made all the actors now. He just criticized Hollywood. He was criticizing Hollywood culture, and it was like he had nothing to do with that. But everyone was listening. Like, yeah, Jim Carrey, yeah, because at this point he's earned his reputation. When he wants to speak on Hollywood, he can dang well do so because he's earned that. So then you get to someone like Brie Larson, who's had she's had good roles. She's not a bad actress, but she just walks around acting like she's already earned her reputation.
Yeah, or that one girl who's playing Snow White.
What's going on with that? I haven't seen anything about that.
Essentially, well, I think they might actually. There's rumors that they might just can the whole film. It's a live action Snow White film.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think it has everything to do with her because already it's like a weird idea. Like they gender swap a whole bunch of things and they change. They do the regular Disney thing. No one gets mad at it anymore. I don't think when they
just keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Like who cares, right? Yeah. But she goes out of her way to really crap on like the original film, and she says like, "Oh, it's about a stalker. And it's about like like." Women being, are waiting to be rescued and saved and everything. And this guy like assaults her. It's like, it's just really weird stuff that she keeps on going on and on and on about. And like, everyone's like, what the crap are you talking about? Essentially, like, what are you trying to prove? It's this person who like really is kind of unknown in the industry. I forget her name, but she's playing Snow White essentially. And Disney's like really tugging at their collar. They're like, she's getting everyone to hate, like, maybe we should just like back out. I don't know if they're going to or not, but like there's definitely a lot of high rumors about it. But just, it's the same situation, like you haven't earned your stripes. You haven't like actually gotten people to like you yet. You're just sort of hiding behind your lead role. Yeah. And you're expecting that to give you leverage over things. Like it doesn't.
Yeah. So you get these new young, and don't get me wrong, I'm not talking like I know anything, but like you get these new younger actors that are coming in thinking they already know things, and just, they haven't earned their right to speak on some of these things. Yeah.
Now I feel like to be fair, and maybe this is more like to the younger acting roster, but like Disney, I think encourages that to some extent.
Sure.
To be more of a role model, to be a spokesperson, to speak up on things. Yeah, it's dangerous to be under Disney for so long if that's your only person. If that's your only like company that you work for, especially for a very long time. Like that's probably just the culture. Honestly, is like this weird cutthroat kind of need to stand apart from everyone culture.
Yeah. So we get back to what was I saying? So the Marvels. Okay, she comes in. And so, like I said, the Marvels looks better than the first movie because the first movie nobody really liked it. I talked to I can't just go based on my close friend group and be like, yeah, all my friends say they hated it, so everyone hated it.
Okay,
yeah, that's not what I mean. It's really hard to find anyone that likes that movie.
Yeah, or most people just make fun of it.
Yeah, or loves it even. Like let's say someone's like, yeah, I watched it and it was fine. Nobody loves it.
Yeah.
So the Marvels actually looks a lot better. because like the trailer, don't get me wrong, it didn't blow me away, and I was like, okay, more Captain Marvel, blah. But it looks like they found an interesting way to do a spin on all their powers, where anytime they try to power up, it accidentally swaps the role. You know, like Captain Marvel will try to charge up laser shoot, and then when she does that, it accidentally swaps her with Miss Marvel. And now they wherever Miss Marvel was standing and Captain Marvel was standing, they flipped. So it's a weird dynamic where they're trying to navigate their powers without using their powers, and they're all stuck in these weird situations. It looks kind of funny, but at this point, nobody cares. Because everyone's already bored with Marvel movies at this point,
and there's a good chance they blew all their jokes in the trailer.
Yeah, true, and the fact that like nobody likes any of those characters in particular, even if nobody hates Miss Marvel.
I don't know anyone who's watched Miss Marvel.
Exactly, like nobody went out of their way to watch that show, and same thing with the other character, the I forget her name. Her mom was in the first Captain Marvel movie, and now it's just like the future, and so it's her daughter. She has powers. Like nobody cares about any of those people, and not even Samuel L. Jackson's like casting powers enough to bring in viewers. Because Secret Invasion came out, and that was full on him, and nobody liked it. You know?
Dude, it came and went. It was a secret, all right, because no one watched it.
Yeah,
I have the same reaction to the Marvels that I did with the Eternals. I couldn't tell you if it was a movie or a show. I didn't care. Like legitimately, I didn't know if it was a movie or not. This one is a movie, right? Eternals was not a movie.
It was a movie.
It was a movie. It's still like, I just
full on movie.
That is so
that
crazy.
Nobody brings up again.
Yeah,
no, nobody talks about it. And they kept joking. And at least this was in the trailer. In the Eternals movie, people were joking like, "So who's gonna be the next Captain America?" And they're all looking at it around the table like it's gonna be one of them. And I was like, "No, none of you, because nobody likes you. Nobody likes your movie. Nobody thinks you're good characters. You know."
Oh my
So
gosh.
I didn't even watch that movie, and I was like, "Nobody's gonna watch this. Nobody cares." You know, they're all Thanos level characters. Like, and that's boring. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch 20 overpowered people go to town on nothing because they can't lose.
No, we like character. I mean, that's why we like characters who are like learning to use their powers, or like who have to grow, who are not just like you know kick butt as soon as possible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at least that's for me. That's what I like to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like, okay, someone described DC and Marvel in a very interesting way recently. It said that basically DC, which I actually prefer. DC is about gods trying to be people, and Marvel is about people trying to be gods. Essentially, it's that rise to power that a lot of people love Marvel for, and they tell those stories really, really well.
Yeah,
and I just don't like. I think it goes against the formula when they're already like god tier, you know, and it's hard to make them relatable.
Yeah,
because they have to be perfect, they have to be strong, they have to be this, and that. I thought the same thing with. Actually, no, I never watched the Black Widow movie. Oh yeah, that was a thing.
that was such a weird story too.
Yeah,
now, I don't mean the script. I mean like the movie's release.
Oh yeah,
did you see anything about that?
About her being kind of screwed over.
Yeah. So she's not going to be in a Marvel film anymore because like when you try to sue Disney, I'm sure you're blackballed from working at Disney ever again.
Yeah, unless you sell your soul back to them.
And she was in the right for that because she was going to get a big bonus based on box office sales, right?
Yep, and they didn't bother telling her
that we're just going to put it on Disney Plus.
Oops.
So obviously there were no box office sales, right? So she's like, well, she gets 5% of $0
to
and
do
0
that
cents.
to like a top tier actress, dude, that's
right.
That's low.
And like whether your position on feminism or not, it's because she's a woman. Let's throw that all aside. Disney looked at her and said, "We don't care that we're screwing you over. Like women or not,
right?
Race or not, whatever you want to say." They looked at her and said, "You know what? We don't care. We don't care what we promised you. We don't think you're important enough to honor our agreement. Screw her." That's what they did. Full on. So she was mad. She sued them, but rightfully so. Hands down, like Disney, they screwed her over. They're not going to lose any money if they lose the lawsuit. Like, like that's nothing. Whatever she would win would be a drop in the ocean. Yeah. So,
wow.
Anyway, so that was a bizarre story in itself. And a bunch of those characters in that movie are supposed to be in a separate movie now. Like they're getting their own spinoff movie. And I was like, talking about pointless spin-offs for no reason, but
I think DC still holds the title of like successful film with a female lead.
Which one? It wasn't Birds of Prey.
Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah,
No, which actually was pretty good.
Which still didn't crack $1 billion at the box office, by the way. No, which is weird. It got close. It got like to 890 or 950 something. And then Aquaman came in and made $1 billion of all people.
Most people like that movie though.
No, it was a good movie. I'm just like, everyone was like, why Aquaman though? Because even Justice League couldn't crack $1 billion. Like they were like, and that's the big one.
Yeah, because technically Aquaman, I mean, like, is a much less recognizable name.
Way less.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously it's like first layer. Like after the first layer, you know who Aquaman is. But like if you're not a superhero person at all, like you don't know who Aquaman is.
Yeah,
but
here we go at last. So yeah, that surprised everybody because Wonder Woman was supposed to be their flagship character, the one like,
oh yeah,
and they were pushing her hard in Justice League. They were like, you know, they were trying to push her as the next leader of the Justice League because Ben Affleck was like out, you know. So and then anyway.
Well, you were mentioning. Let's go back a little bit to the Marvels. You said box office predictions. Yes. So
that's what
question before we get there. How accurate usually are these predictions?
That's a good question. We could probably do an episode on that.
And who are the ones who kind of predict it?
Predictions are just like that. Always take them with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, if you would ask me what Aquaman was predicted to make, you know, less than $1 billion, and that's what it made. You know, that's what it made. So I don't know. Let's see. Because I guess there are experts that predict box office draws anyway. So.
Sure.
Let's see. Oh, it comes out November 10th, dude. It's like 19 days away almost.
Dang.
That's barely 2 weeks. I didn't even know it was coming out. Are you going to see it opening night? Do you even care?
Am I going to go see the Marvel opening night?
Look, it's not a dumb question, okay?
What day is that?
November 10th. That's probably a Friday.
Can't think of anything better to do. That will be sad.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I don't.
Screw it. Yeah, I'll do it.
We should do an episode. We should do an episode on what actually goes into predictions because I honestly have no clue.
Yeah,
and they've been wrong before. So
yeah, I mean, box office. I only ask because, like, I have. How do you predict that?
Yeah,
you really don't know unless you're judging it based off of films that are releasing at the same time. You know, like, okay, this film is definitely going to make more money. People are definitely going to choose to see this movie rather than this movie. Then I can see it, but like based off of like history, like there are some movies that like you said, you would think would make no money and they make $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like it's so hard. It's like trying to predict the outcome of a football game, you know, like with projections and stuff.
There's so many things that can happen after the fact. So let's look at like Terrifier 2. Are you familiar with that franchise at all?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So horror movie, fantastic, best on-screen horror clown ever, right?
Yeah.
Well, the movie, they crowdfunded $300,000, which for a movie is nothing.
Yeah,
that's
zero.
Negative budget. Like, you know, so they fan raised that. They made the movie, and it was just supposed to be out for like 2 weekends maximum. Like it wasn't gonna. So the buzz surrounding it, some articles came out saying, "Man, test screenings, people are vomiting during the film." Well, that generated
you hear that,
that generated some buzz. And don't get me wrong, it didn't crack $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
But people started talking about that.
Oh yeah.
So the first time it comes out, that article comes out. So the next weekend, more people go see it, which usually doesn't happen. Usually you have your opening weekend to make or break the film. Usually. Yeah. Okay, so especially with the movie with the tiny budget like that, no marketing. They just said, "Here's the movie, put it in theaters." They didn't have enough to make real big trailers and put them in theaters and all that. They didn't have that type of budget.
Yeah.
So, second weekend, people are going to go see it. That following week, Stephen King, of all people, tweets before it was X, it was Twitter. Okay, I'm one of the few people left that remembers the olden days.
Formerly known.
I feel like Darkseid, we will use the old ways. And then he put tweets. Going to Earth soon might kill Superman. So he tweets, you know, bro, go watch Terrifier 2.
Yeah.
Like, that was a good movie. He tweets that. More buzz. So now you got, okay, people are going to see this movie and puking. Stephen King saw it and approved.
He puked it.
Yeah. So Stephen King went and puked. So,
whoa,
yeah.
He knows clowns, dude.
Yeah. So after that, when it's all said and done, a movie that should have made like $30K at the box office turns around and makes like $10 million.
Same thing happened with Paranormal Activity.
Oh yeah,
garbage budget.
Yes,
like people started like, oh, this one's different. This one's
you know what their marketing. You know what their marketing was? Was people. They put a camera in front of people watching the movie and watch the audience.
The most bare bones. Like, and you see and you're like, oh.
So lazy, and it worked.
But yeah, did that crack $1 billion? I don't think it did.
Oh, I'm sure. No, probably not.
Movies back then did like rarely
did
high.
that. Well, actually, movies are cracking $1 billion now, based on inflation.
Honestly, though.
Yeah. So okay. So the whole point of that story was you can't really predict box office.
No,
you have no clue.
It's really. I mean, yeah, they're coming within like reason, like plausible prediction, but like you never know what's going to pop off or what's not. Well, I mean, they thought Morbius. I mean, not they. But a lot of people thought Morbius was going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
The second time they released it. Yeah, that was a safe bet.
Yeah. Let's put all our eggs in the same basket again. Yeah.
Didn't work.
But let's look at this. So let's talk about movie buzz here just for a second. Okay. Let's just look at it.
Yeah.
I'm a hardcore Marvel fan. I'm still a fanboy.
Yeah.
Okay. I watched She-Hulk and I liked it. All right. I'm a fanboy. All right. I didn't know the Eternals was coming out in 2 weeks. Or sorry, not Eternals. I didn't know the Marvels was coming out in 2. See, I even got the name wrong.
That's hilarious.
I didn't know the Marvels was coming out in 2 weeks.
That's hilarious.
That's like, now take me, who's like a hardcore, diehard Marvel fan,
who's read comics and seen every show, film. Yeah.
So let's take my brain and replace it with an average film goer who's like, what's in the movies this week? Oh, the Marvels? What is that? Is that a DC film? You know what I mean? Like,
I was watching. I went to see The Creator again with my sister.
Yeah.
And the Marvels preview came up, and like I didn't say anything. She was just going off. She was like, "So stupid." Let me guess. They're gonna put something stupid, at the end credits, so everyone has to go watch. I'm like, yeah. She's not even like a super big Marvel buff. I'm like, she gets the formula.
Yeah. People are tired of it.
Also, it looks like she even said it looks like garbage. I'm like, like. Again, it's probably like $150 million, $200 million budget film, and it looks like garbage.
$250 million budget, dude.
Oh, my
These
bad.
movies get so big.
My bad.
Yeah. Okay.
And it looks like garbage.
Yes. So, all right, get this prediction here.
Okay.
Budget around, let's just be generous and say 200 million.
I'll give it 200.
It's probably 250 though, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Or actually, I was reading
without marketing.
I'm actually right. I'm reading something where it's like 276. Like it's really high. It's really high.
I can't believe for these throwaway films.
Throwaway films. Okay. It is predicted to make $75 to $80 million at the box office.
That's less than Creator made.
Yes, that's less than the creator's budget.
Ooh,
it's looking bad, dude.
I bet that. How much did the Eternals make?
Like 356
back.
Yeah,
really.
Mm-hmm. Now I can Google it.
That is surprising,
but it wasn't that. It wasn't that good. It was not that impressive.
I mean, still, but like I didn't know they made money back.
Well, they didn't because you got to put the budget times 2 for marketing.
Is it? How accurate is it to be? Is that just like a rule of thumb, or is that legitimately like always?
It's a rule of thumb.
Okay, so that may not be like always the case,
but it's very
because
safe.
Some films definitely do get a lot more marketing than others.
Sure.
Eternals did not get any marketing. Like
budget $236 million. Okay.
And you said they made 350 back.
402. So actually, I did a good guess. Good,
so they probably
way to go me.
They probably broke even around that. I'm guessing because I don't think they put a whole bunch in their marketing for that one.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Just because you don't see a trailer doesn't mean they didn't spend it on flyers.
No, really,
they didn't spend it on.
Really think about that. Really think about it. So say they put $250 million on this budget, and a lot of it goes into just like the effects and paying their actors.
Yep.
Why then would that equivalent to their marketing? And say they put like, I don't know.
I didn't think we'd have an argument about this.
It's not. I'm just trying to like understand like how accurate of a statement that is. I get it as a rule of thumb, like okay, assume it's about double. I don't know if it's like as for sure every single time as like okay, assume it's going to be double. Now, yes, there is a lot that goes into marketing that people don't realize,
right? But
I don't think it's always double the budget. Like I'm struggling to think that if your budget is $300 million, just for say, then that would mean your marketing's $300 million, like.
Well, they were saying
it's a guesstimate.
They were saying that it is a guesstimate, but it is a very good one. Mm-hmm. It's not we're just assuming. No, like it is very consistently like that's what big budget, especially someone up top like Disney. they're gonna spend that because they have the money. They have it. It's not like this. Like they're like, okay, let's find 250 more.
But
million.
then you see, okay, so like 250 million. That's a lot of freaking cheddar. That is a lot of money. You just said it yourself. You only just found out that they're making this movie.
Yeah.
I have not seen flyers. I've seen one trailer in one theater. Where's the marketing money going?
Oh, I'm not saying that they're marketing it well. I'm not saying it's not BS. But think anytime you go to McDonald's and they got the Marvel's toys.
Do they?
No. I'm just using it as an example. It could be Subway. I don't know.
I get that we use some money budget for, but I'm just saying, like, for this particular case, I don't see that. I don't see posters. I don't see toys. I don't see commercials. I don't see anything for it.
I agree with you. I'm not saying that they're using
Which is why I'm trying
to
say I don't think every single time it's as guaranteed as saying they use $250 million to market this way. Now, you also have to think internationally. They have to market it internationally.
Right. True.
But again, like, if they're not even doing it with their main audience in the West, like, it must be suffering, in the East as well. So, yeah, I don't know if it's like as safe to say, because then they would have to, in theory, make at least $500 million.
Let me research it at some point, and then I'll get back with you because you're wrong. Let me just look here, because I know I read that the Marvels needs at least like $500 million to break even.
Yeah,
like minimum. So that's where, like I said, even if you don't see the results of where the money's going, I promise you that's how much it costs, like, to do it. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, I'm not saying it was a good marketing campaign, but that is how much they spend on that crap is the same amount. So, oh man, I have to look where I found that article, but it's going to need like a decent chunk of
You're
change.
Not the first person I've heard say that before. Yeah. Like, I've heard that from other people. I know that's like a sort of a reliable like source. It's just that I don't know if every single movie gets the same treatment. If that makes sense. They do have allotment with their budget, which means they could allot some of their marketing budget somewhere else if they wanted to.
Sure.
So that's why I'm not like saying they have to make this much money in order to break even. I would say in order to get any form of profit, they had to make at least $500 million. If that makes sense.
Right.
Like, maybe they cut back on the marketing. Hear me out. They would cut back on the marketing so they would get profit from this. Say they already know this movie probably won't make a whole lot of money. Let's cut back on our marketing so we can actually profit a little bit from this.
I don't think they need to cut back on the marketing. I think they need to cut back on the production cost.
Say that they're like, okay, no, that's never going to happen.
I know.
They're always going to put $250 million on the table, right?
Yeah.
Now they say, let's cut back on the marketing cost so it doesn't cost us as much to put this out. And then we're probably going to get, or we're hoping for $500 million. Then we can get some return on this, because Disney ain't doing that well, and they're not making a whole lot of return on their movies right now.
Not recently.
I think, and here's the thing: it's not just Marvel. They're doing it for a lot of these
Little Mermaid,
Pixar films as well, and Disney films. I forgot what the last one was. The
Elementals,
yeah, marketed horribly.
Yeah.
So to say that they always use, the same amount, not the same amount, but you know what I mean, like
double.
They always use double. Like, I think they're cutting back on the marketing. And I'm not using any, source or anything.
I don't think so.
This is simply a prediction of mine, but I think they're actually cutting back on marketing budget a little bit so that they can make a bigger return, or at least any return at all. It's a prediction. I'm not an expert.
I don't believe that, but I see where you're coming from.
As an average viewer, who doesn't dive into this stuff, that's what I would assume. Again, I know that's probably wrong. I'm just saying, I'm trying to be reasonable, with this.
I actually just think they're spending that much money as a blanket. Like, okay, cool, $250 for the budget, $250 for marketing. I'm saying they're using the money poorly. They're putting it in the wrong places. That's what I'm arguing.
I guess, but better than a Disney to market something.
Sure.
The actual pioneers for marketing. I mean, freaking Frozen, dude. Yeah. I mean, that was gonna be. They knew it was gonna be a success. Not as big as it was, but they knew it was going to be a success, and they pushed for it everywhere. I mean, they don't do that anymore.
Right.
For, these newer, animated movies, they don't push nearly as much as they did for, Frozen, until a Frozen 2 or 3 comes out.
Right.
Then they push for it.
Yes.
As the guarantee success, then they dump everything they have into it. Yeah. Same with, an Avengers film, which we're never going to get an Avengers film again. But, the next big movie, whatever it's going to be, they're going to push for it.
Yeah.
Star Wars,
we're supposed to get some Avengers films.
Yeah, you know what I mean, but not like an OG Avengers film. It's not going to make as much money as it once did.
Especially not if they all do Captain Marvel version of bad. So
it just feels like either they're cutting back or they're changing teams like for every project, because like it doesn't get like these films don't get the same love that they used to.
Right.
You know,
Definitely
back then, you know, when Captain America came out, you saw it everywhere. Even the second Captain America film, everywhere you saw it. You know, even when Iron Man, well, not even Iron Man movies, not really that much, but when the Thor movies came out, you see it everywhere, and now it's just like popcorn. You know, like every once in a while you'll see a little bit of buzz about certain films. So
absolutely
something happened.
Yeah. So last thing. So yeah, that's predicted to flop like bad, like almost $300 million budget. Even if it's not double marketing.
Yeah.
Let's just say
even if they're not going to make that much money back. There's no way on God's green earth they're going to make anywhere near that.
Yeah. Not
like the Marvels.
And I don't feel bad for Disney.
Oh, absolutely not. It's their fault.
Yeah, it's their fault. Because
their fault.
You swear as soon as Endgame came out, they held Kevin Feige down and froze him in carbonite, and we're like, haha.
I saw this great editorial recently about Disney and like why it's declining so much is because honestly, it's so cliche to say, but they've run out of ideas because all they do is acquire companies and have them make the stories now. Yeah. They're not actually doing anything creative anymore, which is so true. Because like, yeah, you see, like, what was the last like great Disney product to come out recently? Yeah, it's all just live action stuff, remakes for their Disney side, the animation side. Yeah. Everything's a flop now.
I mean, how long until they do a live action Frozen?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh gosh, I'm pretty sure they're like already rushing, you know, kicking themselves that they haven't thought of that already. But like animation films, they're all flopping. Every single one of them are flopping right now. I think the last successful one was maybe Frozen 2. And maybe something in between that. I don't even think so. They're trying to come up with Toy Story 5, dude. Ooh. Like,
if we had an audience base, they would tear you up right now and be like, "Oh, that's not true. Kubo and the Two Strings got blah 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 blah." Yeah,
yeah. Honestly, yeah. No, for
you're
real. You're
lucky. Only 40 people watch us a week.
And then on the superhero side, like, do we even have to say this whole conversation has been about that? Like, they don't know where they're going, I don't think.
Yeah, you'd swear that they lost their captain on their ship, and they're like, "Oh, where do we go? Forward."
And then like it reaches everywhere, right? Even like Disney World isn't making that much profit anymore. Like they're suffering so bad, and they're losing tens and hundreds of millions of dollars a year.
Yeah, and like Disney World, let's just look at that. Nothing to do with anything we're talking about. And they are cutting their staff and raising their prices. Yep. Like they're losing money even there somehow.
What does that look like? And people are like saying, "Well, Disney will never die." I don't know, dude. You've seen big companies before,
I guess,
that like have looked unbeatable, looked impenetrable, have that just like collapsed. It's hard for me to say, would Disney ever like dissolve? I don't know, but historically, like bigger companies have, I guess, in the past.
I don't know if anyone's as big as Disney, but I get your point.
You know, well, I mean, like
nobody thought the Roman Empire was going to fall. You know,
well,
what I mean?
Okay. Really think about these companies. Like, you know, I'm not saying that Windows would ever fall. That will never do. Right. But like Disney, if they keep like legitimately, like really think about this. If they keep losing, you know, if their stock prices keep going down, and they're not turning any profit year after year after year after year, what else is there?
Yeah.
No one's going to save them. The government's not going to give them, you know, a handout to say save Disney. Like legitimately, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So they would do that probably for Windows, but they wouldn't do that for Disney.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
where is there to go but down?
That's fair. So we got like 5 minutes left. I had a couple more articles to go through that we can just squeeze through. So yeah, Marvel's probably going to flop. I'm going to watch it because I'm a fanboy, but I actually am not going into it thinking I'm going to enjoy it. I think I'm going to come out thinking, it was a movie. And I think audiences feel the same way. I read an article on Ant-Man 3. Yeah. You know, we talked a few episodes ago. I want to say like 10 episodes ago, something like that. Ant-Man 3 flopped.
Yes.
And I'm disappointed because I wanted that to be good. It was supposed to have Kang.
It was supposed to be the next big push.
Yeah. That like this was the new Thanos. Like, and I liked it. Again, but only because I'm a fanboy. But I understand the criticisms are not wrong on that film. Like the CGI looked awful. Like that did not look like it had $250 million. Like if they had Gareth Edwards direct it and they gave him $250 million.
Oh, jeez. Imagine the freaking visuals.
Yeah. Like it was going to look good.
His world building, dude. But yeah.
Yeah. So I read an article that Marvel Studios, all the executives were shocked by how bad Ant-Man 3 turned out. Not because the movie was bad, but because they watched and were like, everyone's going to love this. Oh, wow. Yeah, we got a hit on our hands. And then it came out, critical disappointment, audience disappointment, lost money at the box office. And it says they were shocked. And they were like, they actually...
But we put MODOK in it.
Yeah. They legit, like, as I read the article, like, we got some inside people talking about conversations that they were having after the movie. The executives said to themselves, we actually are not in tune with what audiences want anymore. The movie did so bad, it slapped them in the face so hard. They're like, wow, we are wrong on how we're approaching these.
Yeah.
Like, so they are doing some big changes and, like, reshoots and putting schedule rearranging. Ant-Man 3 flopped bad enough that they pushed back all their shows. All of them. The Loki was delayed. It was supposed to come out in the summertime, and it got pushed back to now, which it's out right now, and it's really freaking good. Go watch Loki, right? But yeah. So with that, it's like, well, what does that look like? You know, we get to Daredevil Born Again. So they reintroduced Daredevil in Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Daredevil's in it for a quick scene. He shows up in She-Hulk, and that's like the best episode. But they were shooting Daredevil Born Again. Ant-Man 3 flops. And so now they're changing how they're approaching shows. They're changing how they approach movies right now. It's too late for movies like the Marvels. It's already done and slated to come out in 2 weeks. Like, it's too late to go back and change that.
Yeah.
But Born Again, they fired all the writers. They fired everybody, basically, except the actors, right? You got to keep the actors. So Daredevil Born Again was like already like 6 episodes into being shot or something, or 3 episodes, something like that. Canned. Like, they're like, we're starting over. So if all the writers are fired. I saw some memes where people came back from the writer's strike and like, hey, we're back. I'm like, you're fired. Like they did J. Jonah Jameson for Spider-Man 2. You're fired.
Wait, come back here. Write something. Come back.
Yeah. Like, I'm back from the writer's strike. You're fired. So, yeah. I'm willing to bet you the tone of Daredevil Born Again was going to be awful. Like, it was going to have She-Hulk's tone, where it was just goofy, right? I'm willing to bet they were like, okay, we have to change some things because people are not happy with what we're doing.
And you know, it will never, ever be as cool as the actual Daredevil show.
Right, like, exactly. And it's supposed to be. It's supposed to pick up where Daredevil left off and continue that. And you take that where it was at nighttime and you change it to where it's early morning, the sun's coming up, and it's a goofy tone. Like, I think that's where they're going with it. And they're like, okay, stop. We don't want another Echo situation where we shoot it and we hate it. Like, stop. You're fired. Start over. So yeah, they're changing everything right now. They're restructuring. They're pushing back. They're delaying. I'm sure shows that they thought they were going to make, they're going to start chopping down. They're about to start axing. So we'll see. I want a sequel to Moon Knight, the TV series. I want more Moon Knight.
You want Moon Knight?
Oh yeah.
I heard that didn't do well at all.
I loved Moon Knight. I liked it a lot.
I don't know anyone who liked Moon Knight.
Are you serious?
No. Yeah.
No way.
No, legitimately, I've like asked people like,
you should watch it.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Oh, I stay away because I thought it was bad. Is it actually good?
I liked it. Yeah.
You're not being a fanboy right now?
Okay, so let me go back to it.
Be honest with me, Caleb. It's a lot of time to commit.
It's not better than Loki. I guess it would rise to the same quality as like WandaVision.
Okay, I'm not interested.
Dang it. That's what I get for being honest. I should have lied. No, dude, it's better than Loki.
No, dude, it's Moon Knight.
Dude, I haven't seen anything as good as since Endgame. Wait, you didn't like that either.
Oh, I actually go back and forth on that one.
I know.
I forgot we talked about it.
We talked about the multiverse, and that's something you didn't like about it. But, you know.
Time travel specifically, yeah.
I understand, yeah. So, all right, I think that's all we got time for. Marvel, get your act together, okay? I still love you. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Make us Marvel again.
That party you're throwing in 2 weeks where you invited all your friends, I'll be there. I don't think anyone else is coming, but I'll be there, okay?
Oh, man, they're like, we're going to make so much money. Get the punch out, spiking it. They're like, all right.
Yeah.
Open the doors, let them come.
Like they hear that door knocking. Oh, here's our fans. They open it, it's just me.
Steven Spielberg. Oh.
Caleb? Hey.
Oh yeah, you are the one who likes their films.
And I'm not dressing up in Marvel's, the Marvel's gear. Okay, I'm wearing this. All right.
Oh, you don't have your Daredevil costume.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what the end credit scenes are going to be for the Marvels. I'm wondering if it's going to be like really bad.
They're all really bad now.
Yeah, but like I wonder what it's going to be because there's nothing anyone's excited for right now.
Yeah. Let's see. People hate Nick Fury now because
right.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, probably another Captain America tease or something.
That'd be nice.
All right. Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us this week as we ranted on about box office and Marvel woes and everything. So I'm glad you joined us. Next week, it'll be another episode not related to Harry Potter, but the next episode we should be able to shoot should be Harry Potter. It should be Harry Potter themed. So I'm hoping to get that episode out. As soon as we film that episode, it's coming out. That'll be the very next thing. We have episodes saved up, but Harry Potter at this point is taking priority because we're behind on it. So thank you for being patient with us on that, especially you Toodles.
Professor Toodles.
Yeah, Shap says that's Shap's nickname for you, Professor Toodles. But thank you for tuning in. We got you, okay? And we'll try to set a harsher deadline on the next book. At least I say that. We'll see how Shaps feels. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining us this week. We'll see y'all next time. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.